It's silly with another Transgirl C where we talk about comics, cartoons, and other awesome nerd shit. So, last week I said that we would be talking about My Hero Academia Season number 2, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. It's a great shonen anime. I hope you all have been watching it, because there's going to be spoilers in this video, and I can't help that. But, before we get into it, we're going to take a turn to our Things You Might Have Missed segment. And this is a segment where I just suggesting to you that might have fallen under your radar. Either you didn't pick it up at the store, you didn't see it at the store, you just didn't think much about it, and you didn't pick it up. But, taking a break from the normal format of pulling up a comic book that you might have missed, I want to tell you about a show that you might not be watching. The show you might not be watching is OK KO, Let's Be Heroes on Cartoon Network. Yes, I know that it's hard to believe, but Cartoon Network does actually show something other than Teen Titans Go. There's still a little bit of hope for them. At least I'm hoping that they'll come out of whatever weird funk this is. Whew, my hair is all kinds of messy today. But that's not important. So, OK KO, Let's Be Heroes on Cartoon Network is a really great show. I know that I said I was going to make a video on it, a couple months ago, when it came out, but I kind of, sort of didn't watch it all this time. I watched the first couple episodes, really liked it, and thought I could make a video from that, but then I didn't get the best experience because of the way my DVR sometimes records stuff, but they're on demand now, so I'm able to watch the videos seamlessly, and that's been pretty nice. So, the art style's a little weird. It takes some getting used to. The show's by Ian Jones Quartey, and he has a particular art style that I particularly enjoy because I have some nostalgic feelings about it. But it's not bad. It's not bad art style, and it's coupled with a really interesting story about KO and how he wants to become a hero and the things that he does to do that. There's 30 episodes. There's more than 30 episodes currently. Each is about 13 minutes long. Except for one that was about 30 minutes long. Basically, you could finish the show in an afternoon and you could get everything you need to know about it. And I suggest you do that. Maybe not one afternoon, maybe break it up a bit, but I do hope you check out the show. Once again, that's OK KO, Let's Be Heroes. But now let's go ahead and just move on. Let's go. We're going to go to our main topic this week, which is My Hero Academia, Season number 2. Hopefully this is a show you're watching. I think it's pretty great. I like shonen anime anyway. But what I like about the show is that it's a little different from most shonen anime in that it actually avoids the pitfalls that some shows willingly walk into. Like, there's a formula. We get it. But you don't have to follow every step to the formula. And I think My Hero Academia does that. So this is kind of where I tell you that there's going to be some spoilers because we're going to talk about the ending to the first season. So if you haven't seen the first season, I apologize. Go watch that. Go watch the whole thing, please, because I think you're really going to enjoy yourself with this anime. Really, I promise. So let's get into it. Spoilers warnings have been issued. So at the end of season 1, we ended really big, right? We had the fight between the UA students and the supervillains who broke into the UA, and it ended with All Might busting in and saving everybody. It's such a great scene, and there's so much energy and emotion to it. I can watch that over and over again and still kind of feel yeah, go All Might, go, and it's sometimes I cry. I'm not gonna lie, and it was a really big ending, and you would think that maybe the second season would open kind of quietly, but it doesn't. It opens with the sports festival, and that was incredible. So, season 3 in and of itself was pretty amazing. Not only did it cover 3 different arcs from the manga, it did so seamlessly while keeping the integrity of those arcs. The sports festival, the hero killer stain, and of course the what was it called? The test. It was just the test where they were passing because summer's coming. Finals? I don't know. Anyway, those 3 arcs in the manga were pretty pivotal. And I think that ending it on the tests was actually not a bad idea. So, I mean, like I said, there's going to be spoilers. But part of what I was talking about with the show not falling into the pitfalls that other shows often fall into starts with the school sports festival. Now, normally the first years aren't like a big deal, but they really have like a lot of hype going on about them because, you know, they just underwent that attack with the supervillains and they came out all alive, and so people are really impressed and want to see what they can do. And you expect Midoriya, the main character, to maybe not excel perfectly, but you at least expect him to win. And obviously, by prefacing that sentence that way, I can tell you that he doesn't win. He doesn't win the sports festival. He wins the relay race. Relay race? It's not a relay race. It's an obstacle course. He wins the obstacle course. He barely holds on to anything for the cavalry battle. Like, just barely squeaking by into the 4th place slot for his team so that he can go on to the tournament. Now, the tournament is where you would expect him to excel because he has a really powerful quirk that he's kind of getting under control, and he's pretty smart about how to face other people. He's taking notes all the time. And he loses. He loses spectacularly. He, like, sacrifices himself or his body to try to get to another student who's holding themselves back. Like, that was a really touching scene, in my opinion, because Todoroki is just... Like, Todoroki's a much better character now. He plainly is. It's just like, obviously, that's the kind of talking that he needed to. He needed to understand that the quirk that he got from his father isn't inherently bad, even though his father is possibly one of the biggest jerks of all time. I mean, he's pretty awful. But of course, you know, traumatic childhood. There's a reason he's called Izuko by some people in the fandom, which is, it's a pretty good nickname, I think. It makes sense. So, I think that was really a really good way to get that character rolling it out of the tortured backstory trope that he was currently stuck in. It's amazing that even though Midoriya sacrificed his body to get Todoroki to open up like that, you would almost expect Todoroki to win, but he doesn't. Bakugo does. And, like, he's a great character. And, I mean, he's only going to get better as the show progresses. I read the manga because I can't wait for things to update because I'm impatient. And he's just going to keep getting better, and that's great. But he wins, and he's so unlikable at this point. It's interesting that the unlikable character would win this big, important story arc. Even going further, like, we move on to the hero killer arc, Stain, and all of that. That was, like, crazy in a nutshell. One of the problems that the creator of the manga has is he thinks that the way he does action doesn't translate very well in manga form. And I wouldn't say that that's necessarily true. I think I like the way the manga works, and I can kind of tell what's going on. Well, I can really tell what's going on. I don't ever feel confused when there's a fight scene. But it really translates good in the animation, like, really well. It's crisp, it's clean, I like it. The hero killer arc is probably my favorite for the 3 arcs that we got. And I liked that Ilya didn't fall, more or less. He didn't, like, he kind of did. Like, he was going to take care of it himself, and that really wasn't the path that he needed to take. And I like that he got snapped out of it, which I feel that's a common thing in shonen anime, is the almost dark path that people get snapped out of. But it would have been just as easy to let him keep going down that path and getting darker and darker, and they chose not to do that. He's one of my favorite characters, so I'm really glad that he's realized that what he was doing was wrong. Stain in himself was a really great character, in that his ideals, while not great, mind you, they were really solid, though. I understand what he was getting at, in that he feels that heroing is just showboating these days, and only real heroes should be allowed to do hero work. I get that. I don't know that how I would feel if I were in that world, but it makes sense, you know, that he would, or that somebody would want heroes to be more held accountable for who they are. And I really liked it. I thought it was a very complicated arc, and I think that the fact that they're going into how those ideals will affect the world and the outcome of that, and how that affects other people's ideals, is really interesting. Like, we're seeing people go, the hero killer had a good point, and maybe we are overbloated with all these showboaty heroes and we need something real. And I think that was really neat. I enjoyed the whole thing. Like, I want to be very clear about that. While I said that I think it's good that they stopped on the class exams portion of the next arc, I feel that they could have just as easily stopped after the hero killer and then opened with the exams and then moved on that way. And I think that might have been even better, but because it feels... And that's why I prefaced that I really enjoyed all the arcs, the 3 separate ones here, is because I don't want you to think that I dislike any of this in any way. I just feel that the ending for Season 2 was lackluster when you compare it to the ending of Season 1. It's true, the ending of Season 2, it's still a big All Might fight, which is really good. It's between Midoriya and Bakugo trying to work together. Well, Midoriya trying to work together with Bakugo, and Bakugo not wanting to fucking do that at all. And them fighting All Might as a villain. And it's interesting because it's character growth for both Midoriya and Bakugo, which I really appreciate. I'm always going to appreciate character growth, especially when it's good characters. So I appreciated that, but it just didn't have the same impact as All Might versus Nomu, All Might coming in to rescue everybody at the very end, the way he did in Season 1. And that would be my only gripe about this season particularly. It's just that it didn't end, I feel, as strongly as the last season. But I will say that Season 3, which has been confirmed, there's no release date yet, so I'm hoping for a spring schedule, but it might be a fall anime, which will be like a really long and hard wait. But they've got to space it out so it doesn't catch up to the manga, so I'm more happy about the anime following the manga than I am having to wait to watch the anime. So there's that. And what I want to say is that even though Season 2 ended like a little weaker than Season 1, and that even though I still liked it, is that Season 3 is going to have such an explosive opening arc. It's going to be amazing. I even think I know how they're going to do the arcs, in particular, to keep things going, to keep it, like, not catching up to the manga. And so I can't wait for that. And that's the end of this video. So what are we going to do next week? Next week, we're going to be talking about all new Wolverine. We're going to be revisiting that because Orphans of X started this month, and that's the new storyline. I think it'd be a really good time to check back in on Laura and see how she's progressed since that comic started. If you want to know my thoughts about Laura, I do have an older video about all new Wolverine that I think you should check out. But tune in next week. We're going to talk about more about Laura. She's one of my favorite characters. And yeah, until then, enjoy comics, enjoy cartoons, and I'll see you next time. Bye.